Yes, this is Michelle Colby. I am doing this interview. I'm going to keep it very professional because I was asked by a lot of people to tell my side of the story and the truth in this. This is not a comedian video. This is not anything funny. We're going to keep it straight, professional. And I'm going to tell my side of the story on how me and Colby D. Mitchell met, etc., and how I got to Facebook. So I had a fetish for wanted to date a pastor. That was just something I wanted to do. I was looking for a man of God. I was in search of finding someone that was a pastor to, get to know. And I felt like Kobe D, he's not a bad looking man. I wasn't attracted to him physically, but I was attracted to his preaching. When I first heard him, I didn't know back then that he was, you know, clowned a lot on Facebook. I didn't read the comments. I felt like he was a good preacher, and at that time, I was trying to seek help with God. So I reached out to Colby D and I called his phone, and it was about something I wanted him to do for my uncle who was in Dallas, and he agreed to do it. And we just started having a conversation, and I call him, check up on him, how he doing. He was like, I'm doing fine. And I asked him about, his religion with God. He said he was into God and he was into embalming and trying to get his license. And being that I've been in the business going on 11 years, I am an entrepreneur, retired. And I have a long resume in the business world. And I thought that I could, help him with that, and also help him with, promoting and everything. So we talked about that. We had some similarities going on with that. Colby D and I, continued our conversation going past a week. He would call me. I would call him. I think at that time, he is a busy man, and, he dedicates his time to God and the church. And so, we didn't have, much time to really say to where he was too busy to call me, because he, started calling me on his own. He started answering. And I started to like him. We talked about plans of meeting and going eat out, and him come and visit, and, us get in the room and just, spending the night. Not nothing sexual on that level. But, of course, if a man meets a woman, and then, he said that he do a lot of this stuff because it's comedy. He knows what he be doing on Facebook. So it's not nothing like an act. I mean, it's not nothing that he don't know, because it's something like an act. Like he acts like that to keep up with the trend, which everybody on social media has a trend off of Facebook. You can be someone on Facebook that you want to be, and off of Facebook, you actually is a person living your life, and he is not slow like people think he is. So, I asked him, I said, well, Kobe, I said, I'm a good woman. I think you're a good man. I said, how do you know I'm a good woman? He said, I just know you're a good woman. So I knew right there that he liked me and I liked him, and it got to the point to where, um, you know, 3 weeks went by, we still was conversating, and 4 weeks went by, we talked about marriage and children and all of that stuff. He said he wasn't ready to have children right now, and he don't date women because he feel like, they either after him for church, and he just not interested because they really don't like him for him. So by me liking Colby for Colby, that really, was him seeing that I am a good woman. And so it went from there. That night when I got on Facebook Live, I did my first. I really am not a Facebook person, so that's why I was in and out of lives. And I went on Facebook, and I recorded a video calling him on the phone. At the time, I thought it was funny. Um, and when people started, I didn't know it was going to go viral. I didn't know it was going to get all over Facebook. I didn't know people was going to go crazy in the group. Once again, I don't know anything about lives, and I just watch people, and I barely be on Facebook. So it went viral, and I asked them to take the video down because people had screen recorded it, and I wasn't trying to insult his character. I wasn't trying to, put him out there. The things I say was very mean and hurtful, because at that time he wasn't answering my calls, and he was like, "Babe, I've been working, and I'm thinking he cheated on me because here it is. I'm trying to find out, I'm trying to find a pastor to date, and I liked him, and I really, thought he was messing with other women at the time, and he was telling me he wasn't, and then people was inboxing me that he was on Bingo Live telling men that they're cute and that, Colby D was on the down low, and I didn't want to believe it, but the things they were saying to me that he was on drugs and, you know, uh, stuff like that, and that I went head on and I took all of that and combined it, and I went to Facebook with it, and I think he was hurt by it because that when I went to Facebook, he really was like, "Well, she can't like me if she doing all of this." What's this? Number one, I was using Kobe D for clout because I've been on YouTube a long time. I've been on Facebook. I had over 3 pages that was viral, and it got deleted by Facebook, so I stopped going on Facebook a long time ago. But YouTube is my thing, and Instagram is my thing. I love YouTube better because YouTube is, it's more better than Facebook. You ain't got to really deal with the comments. People are just drop comments, I'll read them and move on. Facebook, you go live, people will, they will say some things. So that didn't bother me what people were saying in the comments, and it didn't bother me when they screamed and recorded it either. But I guess Kobe felt like, what, she can't like me if she gonna go on Facebook and then let people know what we got going on, and then the things I was saying about him, majority of the ones they were true. They were all true about him, especially the part where he was on the down low, but I didn't know that he was actually, into men at that time. It was just rumors on what I heard, what people was telling me, what other men was confirming he was on Bengal Live and he was messing with men for Cash App, etc. We're not gonna get into that part. But after that, he called my phone. He, that night blew my phone up. He called me out of my name, if I can say these words. He called me bitches and hoes all night. I could tell he was in his feelings. Me and his cousin actually had a talk about it because, people was really going on with it over and over again. The number one question everybody want to know is, you and Kobe D married? Yes, we are. We agreed to a marriage, but I think that at this time it's just time to put a rest to it, let him move on with his life. I move on with my life. And seeing this side of him is really when he calling me bitches and hoes, blowing my phone up, telling me very hurtful stuff. It really hurts me. It really hurts me when Kobe D curses me out, hangs up the phone, because I know he likes me. I know he got feelings for me, and I really like him too. And I really didn't try to hurt him, but then he tried to hurt me. So I guess when he called me bitches and hoes and, telling me go sleep with other pastors and etc. It really does hurt because it's verbal abusive. Kobe D is very verbal abusive to me. And people don't know that side of him, that he's very verbal abuse, to me. Um but anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, me and Kobe D, after that night on Facebook, it got to the point to where he was blowing my phone up. He called me over 40 times. Me and his cousin, we talked, we had an agreement. We was like, how can we get this to go away? I said, only thing to let it die down is just don't talk about it. I get off of Facebook. I don't post about